Hello everyone. I'm looking at a throttle body here. Okay, that's the connector there. Okay, and this is a 2-liter Passat. It's a 2016. All right, there's the badge. Okay, that's a 2016. So what I just want to do is I want to if I can maybe show you how the throttle body works, what these wires are doing. As you can see here, we have 5 wires. Okay, so we want to see what these wires are doing, but what I want you to take note of already, if you can, let me see if I can zoom. You see this, you see number 4 and number 5, they look thicker than number 1, 2 and 3. I don't know if you can make that one. So that is another hint. See, when we are working with wires, right? So we would want to see, are they thick because they carry more current? So what do? So that's why I have decided to do this video. All right, I'll go step by step until we have everything explained. Right, so we are on pin number 2. Key on, engine off. That's what we have on pin number 2. Key on, engine off. 0.1, 0.02, 0.02 volts. So I'm now on pin number 3. Oh, oops. So come on, focus. It's difficult to focus. Yes, I'm on pin 3. All right, let me try this way. Yeah, I'm on pin 3, as you can see, and that's our reading, 0.01 volts. 0.01 volts. I'm now on pin 4. Right, that's me connected to pin 4. That's what we have, 0.01 volts. Tapped into pin 5. Okay, that's pin 5. Let's look at the voltage. 0.01, 0.02, thereabouts. Okay, between the two. Right, let's summarize these readings. Key on, engine off, sensor disconnected, 4.97 volts, which is roughly 5 volts. 0.02 for pin number 2, 0.01 volt for pin number 3, 0.01 volt for pin number 4, and then 0.02 volts for pin number 5. Maybe while I'm here, pin number 5 and pin number 4, they are for this motor here. Okay, there is a motor. All right, you can see they are thicker than the other 3 wires. All right, they are actually thicker than the other 3 wires. All right, so they are for the motor. Okay, so if they are for the motor, so we can actually designate them. So, and say that's the motor, and then these 3 then, okay, that's the position sensor. That's the position sensor. So here One will be power, one will be ground. Here you have a power already. Between these two here, one is a signal, one is a ground. Okay, so we have now split just by looking at the thickness of those wires, I've managed to split this into two, the motor and the position sensor. So I'll go ahead and take the readings now with the sensor connected, and then let's see what the difference is going to be. Okay, so A20.1 is our throttle body. Okay, this is a wee schematic diagram. I'm using a diagnostic machine. This is a Bosch. Okay, that's a Bosch diagnostic machine. So in that throttle body, we have got two things there. So we will have, let me highlight this for you. Okay, you see them? That's a throttle valve control unit. Okay, that's a throttle valve control motor at the bottom. The control unit is at the top. All right, so there's a throttle valve control motor in there. So that motor, if you notice, let me show you this. See this wire here, pin number 4 and pin number 5. If you remember these two wires, they were the thicker wires that I was telling you about. They were the two thick wires that I was telling you about. Okay, look here and see what is happening here. See that arrow there? That arrow there shows the direction of the current whenever that wire is switched by the ECU. Your A1 here is your engine ECU. So B67 and B88, oh dear, bear with me. Let me see if I can. So A1.1 is the engine ECU, all right? And then as we come then to M4.3, that's the motor. And that's what opens and closes the flap. Okay, the throttle body. Okay, there's a flap on the throttle body. That's what opens it and shuts it. And then we have got B41 there. Let me just highlight that. So that's the throttle valve position sensor. Okay, so let's look into that. So this throttle valve position sensor, it has got 1, 2, 3 wires. Okay, they come through. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5. Okay, we've got 5 wires. So pin number 1, we saw that there was 5 volts on that. It is 5 volts. Okay, it uses reference voltage. And then pin number 2, look at this. The arrow is pointing towards that way, coming from the sensor. So that's your signal wire there. Okay, that is your signal wire. So the signal is generated by B4.1, which is the sensor, and then the signal is sent to the ECU. And then pin number 3, it is your ground. I think you can actually see here. There is your ground, pin B59. B80 is your signal. B61 is the 5 volt reference. Okay, so I hope this makes sense to you now. Right, guys, I'm tapped into my number 1 wire there. The engine is running, as you can see, and there I've got 5 volts. Okay, so pin number 1 is 5 volts. All right, 499, that's 5 volts. All right. So that is pin number 1. This is now engine running. Remember, we got 4.97, which is 5 volts as well, with the ignition key on. So I'm on pin number 2 now. If you can, gentlemen, write these figures down. Okay, write these figures down. I don't have the cameraman today. I'm doing this by myself. Okay, so it's kind of hard, you know, to focus the camera and then at the same time writing down. Okay, so you write these 0.17. This is pin number 2. Okay, that's pin number 2. All right, so we will go to pin number 3. So pin number 3 is 0.03. This is the ground, guys. Okay, this is the ground. There's no doubt about that. That's the ground. So that is pin number 3. That's the ground wire there, as you can see. So I've dealt with all the three. I've dealt with all the 3 thin wires. I'm going now to the 2 thick wires, and I say those thick wires are for the motor. One should be a power, one should be a ground. Okay, but you'll see that how this works. So it's actually fascinating. Right, so I'm sitting on pin number 4. Okay, as you can see my needle there. I'm sitting on pin number 4. Okay, it's difficult to focus, because of the angles. I'm on pin number 4. That's the ground and green wire. All right, and I'm getting 1.66 volts. All right. Right now, this is our final wire. I'm sitting on pin number 5. That's pin number 5 here. That's the purple and red wire. Okay, and I'm getting 0.15 volts with engine idling. Okay, so now it is time for the analysis of all these figures that we have been getting. Yep. Just want to see as you start, right? It will, right? It just jumped to 0.16 volts. So let me go to pin 4 and see. Go ahead and start. Yep. That's okay, Sam. Go ahead. So I want you to keep an eye. The engine is now running. Okay, it goes to 178. Knock it off, Sam. Watch this. Look at that. Look at that. 5 point. And then it drops down. Okay. So that was pin number 4. Now we are on pin number 5. Let's see if we can duplicate the same. Go ahead, Sam. Let's watch the voltmeter. Yep. Hang on, Sam. Hang on. Right, go ahead and knock it off. I'll try pin 5 again. Yeah, it's something that I want to establish. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we've got that low voltage, Sam. Knock it off. Yep. Right, I want to go back to pin 4 and 5. I said something about the arrows, these 2 arrows here. I had said to you, remember, that sometimes this could be positive, that could be negative, and it depending on whether it's opening, the flap is opening or it's closing. But in practice, whenever I went to test, you saw it on the video there, when I was doing it with Sam, when Sam was starting the engine for me and shutting it down, we established that the pin number 4, when she's shutting down, the EC will cycle, the flap. All right. And then you would see we saw about 5, on pin number 4, we saw about 5.22 volts, okay? And then it dies down. Because when you shut the engine down, this is a diesel engine, mind you, the throttle body flap will actually close and then reopens again, okay? So whenever it's closing, that's when we realize that the ECU supplies, 5 volts to this pin here, right? But it supplies ground. It supplies ground because you notice that our ground was about 0.16 volts, okay? Don't be surprised, like switched ground is voltage. If I can just drop that one in there. Switched ground is voltage, okay? You see voltage on switched ground. So she was supplying ground, it switched, okay? And so what the way it works, I figured this out, that it doesn't alternate these two here, that at one stage this one is 5 volts, this one is ground, this one becomes ground. Some of the system do that. This one becomes 5 volts. No, this one does not do that. It will only supply 5 volts here and switch ground here. Both wires are switched. That's why when we go to them, pin number 4, let's look. When we go to pin number 4, with the plug disconnected, you can see that we have got 0.01 volts. We go to pin number 5, almost the same, 0.02 volts, because they are not being switched, okay? It's only when we start, that's when they are going to be switched. So if you notice as well, even when we come here, key on, plug disconnected, engine running, that's what we were getting there. All right, that's what we're getting. But when we came here, right, we started, that was plug connected engine running. So pin 4 was about 1.74 volts. That's not enough to move that flap, okay? And then we have a ground there of 0.16 on the motor. Those 2 pins, they are for the motor. That's why the 2 wires were thicker. So what this system uses, I figured out that it will just open it up, the throttle body, using electrics, but there is a spring inside. That's the one that shuts, that will open it. All right, it will be closed by power, 5 volts here, ground here, but to open it, it is opened by a spring. So the spring keeps it open, and then the power shuts it, but the spring will bring it back again. So that's how it works, okay? I just thought I should correct that, because whenever you're looking at this wiring diagram, I was thinking that, okay, fair enough, it should be cycling these, one positive, one negative, or then vice versa. No, this system does not do that. It actually uses the spring to open the, the throttle body. All right. So I have that explained. The last thing that I would want to do, which I realized that I did not do, hopefully I'll get a chance to do that. I want to look at pin number 2. Remember, this is our signal, okay? This is our signal wire. I want to look at pin number 2 when pin number 4 is high, when it's full 5 volts. I want to see what happens with our signal at that stage. Does our signal go down? Are they opposing each other, or they are the same? All right, fascinating. Let's wait for that, and then I'll conclude the video with that. Right, let me state here, pin number 1 is our power, that's 5 volts, okay? Pin number 2 is the signal wire, all right? That's pin number 2 is our signal wire. Pin number 3 is our ground. This ground is just for the sensor. All right, the ground has got nothing to do with the motor. The motor ground is switched by the ECU. So this ground is not shared at all. It's just for the sensor. All right, so that is ground. This is ground, but this is switched ground. All right, and that one is also switched power. So everything about the motor is switched by the ECU. Okay, in case you were wondering what the 5 wires are for, we can just draw a line here, 4 and 5, that's for the motor, and then 1, 2, and 3, they are for the sensor. And you know straight away that this is a 5-volt reference sensor. Okay, so you have a power, a ground, and a signal, and this is our signal. Okay, that's our signal there. I hope this is okay for everybody. So this is the signal wire when the sensor is connected, key on, engine off. So what we're going to do, we're going to start the engine and then shut it down. We want to see how this signal wire is going to respond to that. Yeah, go ahead. So the engine is running. You can see what the signal wire is. We want to check and see whenever the engine is shut down. You can shut it down, Sam.